Hey guys, so we are heading into a new week here, and there's something interesting about this week that we haven't talked about yet, and that is the fact that we have no idea what's happening this week. Typically what happens is when we get a Zenkai for a character, or when there's a character who gets unique equipment, they usually reveal that in the Legends information. Now, we did get a unique equip for a character. Obviously, the Red Zamasu got one. Extremely, I think, deserved equip. He was just not good on release. They certainly did him justice with the equip, but they didn't talk about a Zenkai during the Legends information. So I'm thinking what will probably happen is we will get a announcement, probably actually today, a teaser for a Zenkai for whatever we're going to be seeing revealed tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, of course, that will come out. I'm thinking it's going to be LF Future Gohan. He's the oldest LF character without a Zenkai Awakening. He's just a month older than the yellow Gogeta Blue. So that should tell you how old that character is, but obviously fits the theme of this being a future celebration. If they're not doing Future Gohan, my other pick would actually be Blue Zamasu. The Zamasu that released alongside the Future Gohan and Trunks. That guy was a menace on release, and I think just having a second life character in Future right now is actually pretty important. So, I guess it would also fit the theme of just full Zamasu, right? So you'd have a blue Zamasu, a purple Zamasu, and a red Zamasu. That would be a perfect color wheel for Future. So Future Gohan, they're not going to do him. If they decide not to do him, then I think blue Zamasu would be my next choice. But we'll see. It's possible by the time this video goes up, we'll already have a teaser for what we're going to be seeing tomorrow, but the interesting thing about this current campaign that we're in right now, we're actually in two simultaneous campaigns, actually. We have this one right here, the For the Good of the Cosmos for Creation campaign, and we also have the Boost Up Future campaign. So technically it is two campaigns going on at the same time. If we take a look at some of the things that we have active right now, let's just see here. So we have whatever the missions are here for the Zamasu stuff. This goes until October 29th here. We have the Zamasu event, which you can get 500 CC from. This goes away on the 29th. I think that's pretty much it. This is a extra long PvP season. And then we have this, which doesn't have an end date. And then if we go over to the Boost Up Future campaign, we have the Exchange Shop, which is up until the 29th. We have... This already ended, or actually it's going to end next, this upcoming reset day. We have the raid, which is going away on the 29th, and then we have I believe it's the missions? Well, actually the login bonus too goes away on the 29th. And then we have, the adventures, which go away on the 29th. So basically everything related to the Future campaign, as well as the Zamasu campaign, which is basically just a subset of the Future campaign, all go away on the 29th. Now, does that mean that we won't see another release for the Future team? I don't know if that necessarily means that. I think it's actually probably a better chance that we see something that's not related to Future, but they could, for all intents and purposes, just drop a Future-related LF at the end of this month. But I actually don't think we're likely to see another release that's Future-related here. So it really was just Zamasu, the Red Zamasu equip, and then I think what's going to be a Zenkai this upcoming reset, which should be Future Gohan, I would imagine. And that's kind of the Future team that they want you to run as like the main lineup for Future. I would find it extremely strange if this upcoming week we didn't really get like a strong Zenkai character, because then at that point we don't really have like a really good Future team, right? We have, I mean, what do they want you to run? The green Zamasu and Goku Black character? They're just not good enough. So what they're doing these boost up campaigns, I really would like for them to actually give us a team that is like very competitive. And obviously the two Zamasus are very competitive. The red one and the purple one are extremely good. I think they're right now the two best characters in the game. But you need a third character, right? You need to have a third character for Future for it to be a viable competitive team. So we're just waiting for that third release. They did a really good job with the GT boost up campaign, because we do have a very viable GT team that's still really good right now. So I'm hoping that they finish strong with this boost campaign for Future. But I think what's actually likely to happen, because the 29th, by the way, when all this stuff goes away, is when we should be seeing our next release, which should be the final release before Legends Fest. I think what they might do is, if you guys remember back how they handled the LF Android 13 character, they just kind of had like a mini celebration. It was the Red Ribbon Army celebration, and it was for just 2 weeks, essentially, where we got 13, we got the 1% sparking Android 14 and 15, and then we had the unique equip for the Gammas, and that basically was the entire thing. We after that got the equip for 21, the green 21 equip, which I guess kind of also helps the androids team, but that I think is probably what we're going to be looking at for the next release. So what that means is I think there's actually a decent chance that the next release is probably not even going to be related to Future at all. And so with that being said, it's going to be basically a one-off release. So what is that theme going to look like? We don't know. Typically what happens before we jump into a major celebration, this is not always the case. We can definitely point out certain instances where this is not the case. But typically the final release before major celebrations, Legends Fest Anniversary, are relatively exciting. And I think more so than before, it's more important that they get this now, because we've just come off of a stretch of pretty unexciting releases. Obviously, Zamasu is the very exciting, Ultra Fusion Zamasu is a very exciting release. But we're coming off of the heels of Purple GT Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who doesn't go Super Saiyan 4, and Android 13, right? Now, let's not get this twisted. I love the design of those characters. The GT Goku and 13 have some of the best designs we've seen this year. I'm not ashamed to say that. I think it's true. But in terms of character excitement, character hype level, it's just not there, right? Android 13 is just probably the least hype LF character pick we've ever seen. That's why they had to make him as good as they did. They did a good job with Zamasu. I think they did a really good job with his animations, his art, everything about Zamasu looks really good. Obviously, his kit is insane. He's a really, really insanely powerful character. But I think it is really beneficial to the game if we get a, I would say not like, oh my god, like Omega level hype character like UI Goku or something like that, but like something that's relatively exciting. Like we got Majin Vegeta last year going into Legends Fest as like the pre-festival bait banner. 2 years ago, we had the Pikkon who revived into Super Gogeta, right? Pikkon by himself, of course, wasn't going to be the LF. They had to tie him in with Super Gogeta because Super Gogeta is more of an exciting character. So that was the pre-2023 festival kind of like bait character. So typically these characters that they drop right before big celebrations are relatively exciting. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. And if it's going to be a one-off release, I have a few options here that I think we could potentially be looking at. And if they're going to do a one-off release, I think what's best if they do is if they take a tag that's like moderately good and then give them like the one final push that the tag needs to become like really good. So I'll just start off with a tag that I think is kind of like in that position right now, and it is Universe Reps. Universe Reps, let me just see if I could actually, I guess we could just pull it up with you here. Universe Reps is a tag that they focused a decent bit on in the anniversary. Of course, part 1 dropped a lot of Universe Rep stuff. We had UI Goku drop. Kale and Khalifa's a 1% sparking were really good. Evolution Blue Vegeta definitely just didn't hit. They just missed the mark with this guy. Kaba was a pretty good 1% sparking. And then after the anniversary ended, we had Kefla. And then during the anniversary, we had the Platinum equipment for Ultra Hit. So they actually did spend quite a bit of time buffing up the Universe Reps team. And I think a lot of these characters are actually still good right now. I think Ultra Hit with the Platinum equipment is still really good. I think UI Goku, I mean, I think the UI Goku video that I recorded is probably going to go up before this one goes up. So UI Goku looks pretty good still if you get him in the right situation. Obviously against Frieza in particular, he has big holes in what he can do, but I think generally speaking, this character is still very strong. I think Kefla is really good, but obviously now with her being green, it's a lot tougher to get her kind of in a dominant situation versus Ultra Zamasu. But in terms of her actual kit, I think she's a pretty good character still. So this team is kind of just like on the fringe of being viable. So if they gave this team like 1 or 2 really, really powerful characters, they could really push the Universe Reps teams to being like one of the best teams in the game. So this is like the kind of situation I'm looking at. If they're going to drop a one-off release, what are the types of teams that we could expect to get this kind of like one-off buff to push them over the edge? Because if we're taking a look at like something like Hybrid Saiyans really just hasn't gotten anything in forever, and I think Hybrid Saiyans is probably going to need something more than just one release to push them into the realm of being competitive. So this really something like Universe Reps, this is the position we're looking at for a tag, to where a one-off release could be beneficial. So I think that's actually like a really good LF character we could see here maybe going into the anniversary is some kind of like LF Jiren could be really good. We only have one LF Jiren in the game, and it is the purple one, the full power one. During the 5th anniversary, we did end up getting the transforming yellow Jiren, who was also extremely good. Before Goku and Frieza got buffed, you could definitely make the argument that Jiren was just was just better than these guys. This guy was used for a very long time. It was kind of this guy slotted into LOE. It was Jiren on LOE, which was like kind of the team that everybody hated fighting against. It was kind of weird, but it did work very well. But some kind of new Jiren, I think, could definitely fit this team very well. It's been a while since we've gotten one. We got a free-to-play one, but I mean, he was terrible. Just copy and paste character. Jiren, I think, is actually a decent pick here. And Jiren is also a character that I don't think is really on the table as an Ultra for the end of Legends Fest. I don't think so. Jiren as an Ultra probably is like a monthly Ultra. He'd probably fall into like the Fusion Zamasu slot. He'd fall into the Ultra Cell slot as an Ultra character. I don't think he's a major Celebration Ultra slot character. I don't think so. So him dropping here, I think, does make sense. And if they do that, they could Zenkai potentially Red UI Goku, right? They specifically saved this guy's Zenkai for not the 7th anniversary. So could happen now, could happen during Legends Fest, or maybe could happen next year. But this guy's Zenkai is clearly being saved for something. So LF Jiren plus a Zenkai for Red UI right before Legends Fest could be pretty like a really exciting way to segue into one of the major celebrations. That's something that I think they could do. Some other tags in addition to Universe Reps that they could really be looking at here that also would help Universe Reps are androids and LOE. So I think a really, really good option here that would help a lot of teams is Golden Frieza and 17. And this is actually a character that doesn't even exist in the game. We never got a tag Android 17 and Golden Frieza. This is obviously them from the end of the Tournament of Power who are facing off against Jiren. Kind of like buying time, I guess, for Goku to get back before they finished him off, before Goku and Frieza finished him off. But I think a Golden Frieza and 17 pick right here, I wouldn't really call them the most exciting character, but it would help so many teams that are kind of just like not really good enough, but almost good enough, right? It helps Universe Reps. It helps androids. Let's actually pull up androids. I should be able to get 17 here and go to it from here. Androids. Androids has 13, 14, and 15. Ultra Cell. We got the equip for the Gamma 1 and 2, and we got the equip for Green 21, who is right here. So Androids has some good characters actually right now. But to me, they still really are just like one really powerful release away from being like a really competitive team. Like up there with Powerful Opponent, up there with Triple Ultra Team, up there with GT. It's really one release away. So they want to drop Golden Frieza in 17 could really, really, really help the Androids team a lot. And then we could also take a look at something like LOE, which, I mean, I don't really think that they did a good job with the LOE celebration that we had in August, but Full Power Frieza is still a ridiculous character. This cooler could be decent in certain situations. Metal Cooler, if they did do like a Golden Frieza in 17, I mean, I would hope they would drop a unique equip for Metal Cooler at that point, but this team could be good. We could be looking at something here if they gave this team like a really powerful LF character next to Full Power Frieza. Maybe Red Cooler fills in that third slot. Maybe they give a unique equip to Metal Cooler to fill in that third slot. Like they could do stuff with LOE as well. So a 17 and Golden Frieza pick right now would boost up 3 different tags to being relevant, which I think is actually really, really good. That probably is like the best pick they could do right now is Golden Frieza and Android 17, just purely from the perspective of helping teams that are like just barely not good enough to make it into what I would consider to be viable territory or competitive territory. Okay, the next tag that I want to just point out, and this is kind of a wild card / question mark tag because I don't know how they're handling this. Don't know if there's restrictions on this from Toei, Shueisha, or what's going on here, but Daima is just always going to be, I think, on the table until we end up getting the remaining pieces for the Daima puzzle here. I will do my Legends Fest prediction video once we get into November. I'll probably drop it like very early November, like November 1st or 2nd. I already know what my picks are going to be for Legends Fest predictions. Daima is in my predictions for Legends Fest. Let's just get that straight. I think what they could do though, for Daima, if they want to give us a one-off release for Daima right now, is we could see potentially like a mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta LF drop here. And they could give us either an equip for somebody, they could give us a Zenkai for like the blue Daima Goku potentially. But there's really not a lot of leeway in terms of buffing the character, because if we just open the Daima tag here, let's just go here. Daima. They did a very special Zenkai for this character because he was so new at the time when he got a Zenkai. And I remember them even making a statement. They were like, we usually never Zenkai characters this quickly because this is actually like the fastest, I think, ever Zenkai for a character. But Blue Daima Goku, I think, could get one. They could give a unique equip to Red Super Saiyan Goku. They could give a unique equipment to Tamagami 3. Remember they gave the equipment to Glorio? So they could drop like mini Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Zenkai this Blue Daima Goku, and then give an equipment to like Red Super Saiyan Goku. I think they could definitely. Remember last year, Goku and Bardock, who were a year old, got a unique equip right before Legends Fest. That's literally the exact same thing they could do for this Red mini Daima Goku for sure. So this guy can get an equip. They can give us a new LF Super Saiyan 3 mini Vegeta. This guy could get a Zenkai. I think Blue Super Saiyan 4 Goku could still be viable if Daima as a team is still viable for sure. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta still does decent damage. Obviously, we know how annoying Ku is. So like the team still has juice. It's just they really need new characters, like post new design philosophy characters. So I think they could do stuff with Daima and kind of like buy time until we get to Fast and then drop like the big guns for Fast for Daima. That could be a thing that we see as well. And then the last tag I want to talk about is a tag that we've started to see some buffs for, but they haven't dropped like a full-on campaign for it yet, and it is movies. If we go do sagas in the movies, most recently, of course, we had Metal Cooler drop, we had Android 13 drop, and then we had the equip for the Gammas. So they've been kind of sprinkling in some buffs here and there for movies. Now, whenever we talk about movies, it's really hard for me to pinpoint like, oh, dude, like we're really waiting for this character to drop for movies because there's 1,000 movies. Like there's 5 billion movies that have released for Dragon Ball. So there's so many different characters they could pull for this. I just have a few written down that I think don't really have the representation that they should have in the game 7 years in at this point. The first one is One Punch Man Goku, who's the uppercut Goku from Broly movie, DBZ Broly movie, the movie 8, DBZ movie 8, this Goku right here. The Goku who defeats legendary Super Saiyan Broly from DBZ movie 8, this Goku. This is the only version of this character we have in the game, which is kind of crazy because this is like a big moment. This is like the Super Saiyan Goku moment from the movie. So we're still waiting for this. I think another character potentially we could see get an LF that we actually do already have an LF for, but I think he definitely deserves another one is, well, not specifically Blue Beerus, but Beerus. The Hakai isn't in the game. I don't know if they would give a movie Beerus the Hakai because he doesn't do it in the movie, but a new version of Beerus as an LF I think could be very good. I know people want an Ultra version of this character. I would be 100% down with that, but either an LF or an Ultra, I can see for this character, but an LF movie Beerus, I think we're kind of overdue for that as well. Something else that we haven't gotten an LF for ever, which is kind of surprising because they've used this movie a lot in the history of this game, is God Vegeta. I think like a pre-festival LF God Vegeta could be a really good pick here. Just a really popular character, one of the more popular forms with Super Saiyan God, and of course DBS Broly as a movie is very exciting. I was kind of thinking like, how could they get DBS Broly into the game? Well, DBS Broly characters into the game outside of major celebrations, because it feels like every single time they drop a DBS Broly movie character, it's always either Anniversary or Legends Fest, because that's the level of hype that movie has surrounding it. Yeah, I just thought of like, why not just do God Vegeta, right? We have 2 versions of God Vegeta in the game, right? It's this guy who's the transforming one, then we have the yellow one from forever ago. Like this guy came out when like the movie came out. it's like so old now. So I think a new LF God Vegeta could be really, really good as well. My personal pick for pre-festival LF character that would be very exciting. I don't like, this is something they could easily just put into festival. That's how exciting this would be. And I've mentioned this before because this is a character that I think is very poorly represented in the game now if we think about how long ago this form was introduced, but Orange Piccolo, a standalone version of Orange Piccolo. And then if they do this, they could then also Zenkai Blue Beast Gohan as a lead into festival. So like we're looking at potentially like LF Orange Piccolo into Zenkai Blue Beast that leads into festival, or we can go back to the Universe Reps thing I was talking about where it could do like an LF Jiren into Zenkai Red UI Goku that leads into festival. Like that's the kind of thing I think we need right now for this game. Zamasu was a good start and did a really good job with him, but we need to keep the train rolling. We need to keep the excitement up. And I think something like this is pretty much what would help that the most. But you guys can let me know what you think if they do decide to go with a one-off release for the end of October, which would be the final release before Festival that is not related to Future. Let me know which character you'd want to see for that. And also let me know, I guess, kind of what you think we'll see, I guess, this week for the update. Again, I think it probably will be LF Future Gohan. Again, by the time this video goes up, we'll probably already have like a hint for it, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about this idea. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.